Mark, you got it.
And we don't even do like an intro or anything with this. This is a bonus episode.
This is freewheeling, right? Does one of us even like...
We're freewheeling. We're free-balling. It's just whatever. No.
Who's got the waterbed? Did you get the waterbed? Who brought the...
Well,
How crazy
I know
was
why,
that?
but that was crazy because it's... I don't... How crazy is it that when they were going to have sex and she's like, no, not here. And he's like, not here? We always do it here. And I'm like, in the car, in the driveway, in a convertible? That's where you always have sex.
But she got her new waterbed.
Oh, is that what she wanted to show
I would
him?
imagine that it's a sloppy sex, actually, the waterbed sex. Because the waterbed is so... I don't actually picture a waterbed being comfortable at all. I know they were a thing, I guess.
Oh, they were a thing.
For a little bit of time.
When Mike Seaver lived above the garage in Growing Pains had a waterbed...
He did, that's right.
I wanted to be Mike Seaver... And who was the oldest son in the Hogan family? Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
I wanted to be them so bad when I grew up. Because I watched them when I was like probably the age of like the two nerdy twins, like Willie and...
Oh, in the
Hogan
family.
So I was watching those shows when I was those kids' age and probably like Ben's...
So you definitely looked
probably
up
Ben's
to.
age in Growing Pains. Yeah, I wanted to be those cool older brothers.
And the waterbed would have taken it to the next level.
I still think I kind of want to be Jason Bateman. Not Kirk Cameron.
He's pretty rad. Not so much the Kirk Cameron. No. Jason Bateman, however, is not in the movie that we're supposed to talk about now, though.
No.
Right? No. Was he ever in a fraternity or play a fraternity?
Play a fraternity? Kappa Bateman.
I'd join that.
Oh my God.
I'd pledge Kappa Bateman.
Kappa Bateman, you'd be there with, who was his friend Bert, right? That nerdy kid. And he had another blonde-haired friend. I don't know what that guy's name was.
Yeah, and the blonde-haired friend was a little bit more of like a dumb blonde dude, I guess, right?
Yeah, well they were...
Right, wasn't he kind of goofy?
They were both kind of stupid and goofy. And it was Yeah, and then that's what made those characters not seem cool, because I'm like, why is Jason Bateman hanging out with these two? And why is Kirk Cameron hanging out with Boner and just the bland, dark-haired kid with the mullet?
Oh, mullet.
Yeah.
Forget about him.
They must have been losers. Yeah. Like Styles from Teen Wolf. When you're a kid, you think he's cool, but then we watch it and we're like, no, he's just a loser.
And you're like, actually, he's just a goofball. Well, that's all right then. That was your aspirations, was to be that goofball.
This is quite the opening to a bonus episode. Folks, this is what you're paying for. You can't get this for free on the regular episodes.
This is a little more... We're doing things in reverse, actually. We're talking recommendations and nonsense. Actually, we talk nonsense throughout.
Yep.
If anyone is listening and paying for our
if
podcast,
this is the
know.
first thing you're listening to because you gave us money without listening to regular episodes, it's pretty much just wall-to-wall nonsense. But we should get to the movie because it's the scariest time of the year.
Sure.
Which I guess is October 1st when this comes out.
Right. Well, yeah, it's the Halloween time.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It makes you feel all
scared,
ghostly and witchy and scared. Yeah, and pumpkin lattes.
Yep, it makes you feel like a pumpkin latte. Well, I guess feel like having one.
There you go.
So anyway, we watched a movie. I think it was a movie. It was made.
It was a film.
It was a film. It was shot on film. It was not digital. And I'm already a bit confused because I got conflicting reports whether this was from 1982 or 1983.
I thought it was 83.
Okay. I have written down 83, but then somewhere I read 82.
But wasn't there a remake made? I want to say the remake was 1992.
No, the remake.
Oh, no, 2006,
it was,
right?
Yes, if not even more recent. Yes, it was the.
I didn't dabble in any bit of the remake. Do we even know? Did it do well? Was it?
I have no idea. I do know that several of the original cast members from this were invited.
Have done nothing. No.
What? Well, a lot of these girls are professional actresses still to this day. The main girl, the main good girl, and the main bad girl, they became big soap opera stars. They were in soaps for many years. They were both
yes.
The other ones, I'm not sure. But those two girls at least went to the premiere, were invited to the premiere of the new one.
Oh, so they did kind of pay tribute to
And I saw a couple interviews with them where they were kind of like, nah, it's not very good. They're like, our movie wasn't great, but this was not good.
I did find out, so the actresses, the two leads, right? Because those are the ones that I looked into. Oh, no, I didn't.
You're talking about Catherine and Vicky?
Vicky. She looked like somebody, she looked recognizable to me, and I didn't know why. Now, I don't do it often, and I'm not proud of it. But every now and then, like if I'm sick with the flu, or if I'm just home and I have
I'm waiting. I can't wait to see where this goes.
The Real Housewives show. I can kind of do an episode or two of. I'm not like a dedicated watcher, but that's where she is from. She was a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. For like a season,
Vicky.
I think. She was on it for Vicky. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
And I read some fact that like for that show, for the Real Housewives show, she earned like some ridiculous amount, like $750,000 an episode, right? And for her fee for sorority for this movie was $50 a day.
I heard. Oh, I have so much information about this movie. I don't.
Let's just divulge information. Let's not talk about the movie. Let's just say what we know about it.
One of the girls I saw an interview. I don't remember who it was, but you're right. She said they got $50 a day if they were in the scenes. So apparently all the girls stayed at a house close to where they were shooting, and they would all just show up on set every day, hoping that they would be in a scene so that they would get
otherwise
paid.
They're not getting paid in there. Oh.
Yeah. And I guess there wasn't really anything else to do in the area, so it wasn't like they had nowhere else to go. So they just showed up and hoped that they would be in a scene, which is weird. Like if you're the first girl that gets killed, short perm, like she probably stopped showing up after a while, right?
Yeah. And then she had to move on to her next. Well, see, that's the thing. Lots of the girls that I looked up, except for our leads, and there was another actress, and she did look familiar, that I don't remember which character she was. She was the one that
I saw, you know what? Yeah, I saw some interviews with the girl in the van too. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a little more recognizable to me, but she's in that movie I love, Parenthood, that Steve Martin movie. I think it's in the 80s, might be early.
Yes.
I've talked
and
about
she
it
was
before.
also in, I want to say Arachnophobia. I think she was like the mom or something, married to Jeff Daniels.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. You know what?
Yeah. So
we should not shit on these actresses. Like 3 of the 7 did stuff after this.
Now the one that is like, she was terrible in this anyway. The one when the body falls on her.
She was my favorite actress in this movie. She
did nothing. Don't call her an actress because she just showed up for her $50 a day. That was
was amazing.
She was the worst.
She said, I think she had one line in this, except for after when she was going to talk and then she ended up leaving the room throwing up. But when she said something like, maybe she's not even dead at all. And I was like, how? Is that the best take? That was the best take.
Her line delivery was just, I didn't know if she was trying to come out, like if she honestly just was reading off a cue card and had trouble reading. That's what it seemed like.
When the body fell on her, she walked in that closet and she sang like their sorority song.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the most comfortable she looked. And I was like, oh, I guess this girl just showed up. And she's like, I can sing. And I look like this. Can I be in your movie? And they're like, okay.
They're like, well, do you mind taking your top off? She's like, I don't think so. They're like, okay, you're it. But yeah, she did nothing. She did nothing else after this. Like her only thing was this.
I mean, it's not a surprise.
Sorry.
I'm sure.
I mean, I'm sure
she's fine.
She's
and
got a nice family. And
exactly.
Yeah. But she's not any kind of I'll tell you.
That is not a surprise.
No? Okay, good.
All right, anyway.
Were you into the band? Were you into the band that played?
I love the band. It's just like they went up and went, just try and sound like the Cars, only a lot worse. And those guys did a bang up job. I loved how the girls, after they killed her, they were like, oh no, the band's here. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, I love that it was that kind of a party too. Like, it wasn't just a kegger. Like, they were hanging decorations and there was a band coming and apparently there was a curfew because by a certain time people were just leaving.
The whole time the house mother's there and I'm like, you're hanging a disco ball. She said no last night. There's a banner outside the house.
She said no. She did. She walked right in on them while they were having.
All right, we should go through this movie because we've talked about the entire thing.
We're dancing around it. We gotta push ourselves into the murky pool.
I'm so happy that Vicky was a real housewife. I didn't know that. I appreciate that she's still in the public consciousness for as much as any of those women are.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty good for getting out of this movie and doing that.
You think?
I don't know.
Well, the males now, Oh, did you see the guy that plays Paul?
Who's Paul?
Who is like, that was the boy that she was set up on the blind date with.
I didn't think that was his name. Oh, wait, was it?
I think so.
I don't know. That guy was irritating. Steve. No, not Steve.
He is like,
Steve? No. I probably didn't even write it down. He wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave. And every turn, he would just walk around the corner. I'm like, why are you still
here? It's a blind date, dude. What are you doing? But it was her innocence.
She wants nothing to do with him.
Well, how could she? It was an intense night she was about to head into. Blind dates, just kind of extra baggage. We don't need you around. Well, I think it's him. Maybe it's one of the male characters. Didn't go on to a big acting career, but he was like a big producer and produced, I can't think of the movies now, but he's got a lengthy producer credit.
I just like to think it was the lead singer of the band.
I think we'll go with that. I think we will. The band, 4 out of 5 Doctors.
Excuse me? Is that the name of the band?
I looked it up, yeah.
No.
4 out of 5 Doctors. They were from, I think, the Washington area.
I don't care. I loved them. I thought they were great.
I know. They were a highlight for me from the movie.
That party full of students in their mid-30s, all of them.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
The party really didn't. I mean, I guess it wasn't the point of the party to get rowdy because it was what was happening outside the party. But I tell you, the hodgepodge of people that did get into trouble, like who was the guy? The first guy, I guess, to get killed and all
of it.
The
Gallagher?
guy was like looking
ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. What was he looking for? Like flying squirrels or something? Like he's like playing like nature with a friend.
I have no idea. What? I was like, and is this guy a teacher or a student? Because he looked very old.
He look older.
The bushy Gallagher hair. He even had like the little Gallagher like newsy cap on. And a giant bushy mustache. It was a character you had not seen before. We never saw this guy at the party.
No.
All right, let's
go
through it because
let's just dive in.
They try and I don't know how fooled you were with the murderer or the reveal of this movie.
Can I not lie to you? I mean,
they really try and throw you off track.
They do, and I was a little. Listen. Once it was revealed, it was no surprise. But I was going along a whole different track.
Okay, we can talk about it.
And I was like, oh, there you go.
We'll talk our way through this.
But let's talk through it. First of all, Liberty Films. What is Liberty Films?
I would say, what was Liberty Films? Let's say that.
Yeah. Better that. All right, so it's a Liberty film, right? And we opened in 1961, June of 1961. And it's a weird. Did you think there was something wrong? That it was a blue and white, not a black and white that we were seeing?
Oh, I thought you meant that I was watching the wrong movie because that has happened to me before.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's very soft focus. It's very like Barbara Walters interviewee, like everything.
Yes.
It's just the camera's smeared with Vaseline.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was blue and white. It looked black and white to me.
Oh, it looked blue and white to me. It didn't look...
No, it's in the past. So it could look any color except for full color.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have a flashback.
We see the house. We see a large house, and we hear a woman giving birth or in labor. She's in a lot of pain.
She's having a tough time.
A lot of pain.
It's a stormy night, right?
Stormy night. The doctor comes by, sterilizes his knife on a candle in the room.
Very, very strangely. And it's like a butter knife.
No, it's a scalpel.
A scalpel?
Okay. I don't think it's a butter knife. He's not the guy performing abortions in Dirty Dancing. So he then cuts this baby out, performs a cesarean.
Well, we don't see him cut the baby. Oh, yeah,
almost.
You're right.
We see the knife go to the belly and cut away.
We just assume, Screams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then the woman, the would-be mother, says like, "Oh, where's my baby?" And he's like, "I'm sorry." So we assume baby died?
Dead okay. Baby. And then she screams, right?
Well, there's a lot of
She screams in horror.
When in doubt, going through this movie, just be like, and then she screams, because you'd probably...
Yeah, because that's what likely did happen. Yeah, no, I thought it was baby dead.
Oh, me too,
I didn't
definitely.
Think it was baby, no.
Yeah, which is the first confusing, which is the first way that they try and trick you in this movie. Dead baby, woman who lost her baby.
Right. In this giant house that is now, because then we flash forward to a college campus. It's like a graduation day, right? We have a montage of a makeup, shaving, shoes, blow drying, like of a sorority house getting ready for, I guess, graduation day, right?
I guess. Yeah. Then they have their pictures taken outside the house in their graduation get-ups. And Jamie, are there 7 girls in this entire sorority?
7. There's 7 make up the whole story. It's a pretty big house, though, but just the 7
I love
them.
how later she's looking at pictures on her wall, and I'm like, oh, there's like 20 girls in this one.
But you know what? Maybe it's the 7 of them that graduated. Maybe that's what it is. Because it's the 7 of them that are going to stay later for the party.
Oh,
and
so
I think
you're
maybe it's for their graduation.
thinking the other girls moved out of the house earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're giving them...
Yeah. Like they were supposed to. Because they were supposed to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Good. You're giving them a lot more credit than I did. That's fine. I think that's okay.
And then we find out right away that Mrs. Slater, who was obviously the one that was the pregnant woman, she owns the sorority house, right?
Yeah. She's like a sorority mom or a house
like the
mother.
House mom?
Yes.
House mom? Yeah.
Yes. Which I guess is a thing? Used to be a thing? What's the difference between a house mom and a house bunny?
Oh, I think it's
one's Anna Faris
level
and
of
the
clothing.
Other. Okay,
yeah.
Right. So all of these girls are done. They've graduated. Our main character, because she's the nice girl, you quickly find out she's the main character. Her name is Katie or Catherine.
Yeah. Catherine, I guess Katie for short.
And she is packing to leave. Her mom's even there. She's the only girl whose mom is there helping her pack.
Right.
But Vicky, the bad girl, comes in.
She's definitely the bad girl, yeah.
And she says, don't leave.
You gotta stay.
We're having this party. We at least need your help decorating. And plus, as she's walking away, she says, we even set you up with a guy.
Yeah, we have a blind date.
Don't worry about a date for the party.
Yeah.
We got one for you.
We got someone coming. And she hesitates, but okay, she agrees. And we never see from her mother again.
No.
No. And before the mother and daughter are having a conversation because the mother thinks the daughter's going to move back home.
Uh-huh.
She's like, no, Mom, I've got to figure myself out, my life out. And then we never see
we don't hear about a lot of their plans. We only have one scene where they're sitting around drinking out of beer
when they give the toast?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we don't hear a lot
and one of them is going to work for Pan Am.
Pan Am is a future employer. One girl's going to law school.
Yeah, but, yeah.
The other girl says something about I guess her parents are very wealthy, and she's like,
oh, she has a silver spoon
up her nose,
Yeah.
and all the girls think that's great, and then Pukey McBarfbags has to leave.
She can't even get it out. Yeah.
Yes, but Katie's, I do like hers. Hers is very sincere at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. It's about the
she's
girls,
like, I want to thank you guys so much for helping me get wasted. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah. It was. They seem like a fun little group there in the beginning, right?
Right.
When they're kind of sorority girls partying
together.
Yeah. We
go
do
ahead.
get to see. So we know we get a little information. We know Mrs. Slater is now older and is the owner of the sorority house, right? And she goes to visit her doctor. We see her go via cane to visit her doctor, and we just know she has a condition. She has a condition she should be monitored for. Any bit of stress could agitate her.
Sure. Now let's make this all clear. Very early on. We don't want to spoil the movie. If you're really interested in knowing what happens, watch the movie and then come back and listen.
Please. Right.
But they never say she has the doctor never says she has a condition. They're talking about a condition.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It can be triggered because of advanced age. And clearly we are meant to think that he's talking about her because she's like, nope, I'm spending my summers the way I always do at that house. And he's like, it's not wise. This hospital is the best place for people with this condition.
That's right. You need to. That's right.
Exactly.
Gosh, I have to tell you, I am just putting this all together now.
He never says her, but you are. I mean, that is what we're meant to believe, that this, because even the girls, because when we come back to the girls, they're like, 4 years ago, she was really cool. And now suddenly she's become a crazy old bitch.
That's right.
It's horrible.
That's right.
And won't let us do stuff. And then the doctor's like, in advanced age, this becomes even worse.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I was falling hook, line, and sinker for it.
Yeah. And he does give her a medallion to wear. The doctor's like, here, wear this on your person at all times.
It's like a medical ID. That's the medical ID thing that they find later. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know somebody, there's a condition given. Mrs. Slater's been sort of umbrellaed.
After she stared at a woman and her son sitting on the lawn outside this hospital playing.
Oh,
forever.
What was that?
She just stood and stared at this kid.
Oh, but now that makes more sense, too. You
Jamie,
see? I'm glad we're talking about this.
Oh, man. Oh, boy, you're really working through this movie.
Revelations here. Revelations. Was it the party? No, it's their toast party where she first walks in, right? She's had a day, Mrs. Slater.
Well, first, can we just say that very quickly before this, we see Vicky, the bad girl, and her weird frizzy-haired boyfriend. Oh, is that Paul? Is that guy's name Paul?
Oh, maybe that is.
I don't know. But anyway, he's teaching her to shoot a gun, and she is amazing at shooting guns.
She just instantly can shoot like target, boom, boom. She just knows no fear.
Yeah.
Right?
But she wants to hold on to the gun. She's like, thanks, she brought me this gun. I need it. I'll give it back to you at some point.
There's a party coming, yeah. Yeah, she doesn't say why, but we just know she's kind of a bitchy bad girl, so she's into bad things.
Oh, yeah,
like
sure.
Guns and stuff,
yeah.
Right? Guns and waterbeds.
Bad girl things.
Yeah, exactly. But the girls are kind of starting their pre-party. Not really pre-party. It's the night before. Is it technically the night of graduation? When they're kind of in their jammies doing some drinking? Right?
I guess it's still the night of graduation, right?
That's what I think.
All of this is the same day. The hospital visit, them getting their pictures taken, her almost moving out, and then it's that night, I assume. Yes.
I think so, yeah. And like you said, Miss Slater, when Pukey walks out, Miss Slater walks in on them. And
I like how she yells at them, these 2-year-old girls. She yells at them for drinking in the sorority house.
Yeah, I don't know what. And she throws away one of their bottles, but they have alcohol everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So she tells the girls, she says, listen, there is no party tomorrow. This house is already closed. Like,
you need
why
to move
the
out.
fuck are you even still here?
Exactly.
So she says, you got to get out of here tomorrow. The house is closed.
Yep.
And the girls are even like, why does she close the house every May 19th?
June 19th or whatever.
First of all, that is a late graduation for college. June.
Yeah, that is pretty late. I agree. Yeah.
But they're like, all the rest of the houses stay open for another week and everything.
Right. Sure, of course. Let everybody move out and settle.
And they are not about to leave either.
No, they don't. None of them hustle. It wasn't like, we better pack our... They definitely all decide to spend the night anyway.
Spend the night, spend the weekend. I mean, they're staying...
Yeah,
this is Thursday night. They're staying Friday night. Who knows? They'll probably stay Saturday.
They don't seem that threatened by her. No. Obviously, they're not that
No, not at all. I mean... I get it. They're like, listen, we're graduating. Screw you. We're going to do whatever we want. What are you going to do? Throw us out? We'll be gone in 2-3 days max.
Right.
So we do follow Mrs. Slater for a little bit because she goes in her room and, as I said, she looks at all old pictures of the girls who graduated and then she burns them.
She starts burning them. Yeah, she's angry. And again,
it's almost as though she's crazy.
Must be the condition. Right? Yeah, the condition.
And, then she wanders up to the attic and listens to a music box.
Oh, and that's really creepy. The attic is a creepy place, and we find out why. But there's creepy dolls, and she sits in a rocking chair, and she has this cane. This is when we're introduced officially to her cane, right? When she's up in the attic.
I love her cane.
I know, I do
it's great,
too.
Because it's a deadly weapon. That is deadly. Like at some points people are getting stabbed and I'm like, was the bottom of that cane so sharp that
had the hook.
Yeah, but
the bird's mouth was like
sometimes people are getting stabbed and it doesn't look like the hook. It looks like the long extended vertical part of the cane.
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
Mass destruction. Mm-hmm. Well, it did quite a bit of damage.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Oh, what about, so the cane can also slash a waterbed. Did we talk about that? All right, so.
I like how Vicky erotically waits for her boyfriend wearing, I guess, a nightie and socks that are pulled way up, like past her knees.
Kind of
these purple socks.
That, although I guess it was the time period, because there's a point where I think it's Vicky, I think it's the scene when they shoot her. Vicky's shorts that she's wearing come up so high, and they're supposed to be, I guess, sexy cutoffs, but I think just based off the time period,
it just kind of looks like clothing they found. Like,
it didn't.
Their dresses for this party are ridiculous. Like, top to bottom, insane. Every girl is wearing something that you should not wear to a college party. They're dressed for, like, a prom in 1976. Like, nothing.
Or your graduation party at the sorority house. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But our bad girl Vicky does decide, we talked about this, how she brings the boy up to her room, her boyfriend, to have sex on the waterbed, and while they're in the throes of passion, who comes in?
Mrs. Slater.
Behind, with the cane.
It's pretty great, because you see the cane raise up as though she is going to bludgeon them.
She's going to kill her from the back of the head. Yep. Yeah. But then, no, she slept, and there's so much water in that waterbed.
Well, she doesn't just put a hole in it. I mean, she hooks it and then does like a 3-foot straight tear through this waterbed. And then these two are just swimming, basically.
Oh, man.
It's pretty fun. And I also love how then Mrs. Slater leaves. And Vicky gets out of bed, and she's storming down the hall, yelling and screaming, and she slips and falls.
She slides all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, she's wearing her
so
robe.
Mad.
She's so mad. All the other girls kind of like come out of their rooms to see what's going on.
Well, and that was the weird thing, because when she first comes home with the boy, I was like, well, where's the other girls? Like, they're all, like, the sorority is, like, tucked in, tight. Nobody is awake. They almost have their own room. And when Vicky brings her boy to the waterbed, I was like, where the heck's everybody else? But then when she slips sliding out of the waterbed room, everyone's like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah.
I could only assume it's super late, because the next day, does Mrs. Slater get up at like 4 in the afternoon or something? It's very late in the day when she finally walks out, because they have decorated the entire house. They had time to decorate the house, conceive an insane quote unquote prank.
Yeah.
Before she even gets out of bed.
Yeah. Well, it's exhausting being Mrs. Slater, I guess.
Yeah, you're up in the attic at all hours of the night, rocking.
Looking at that creepy Jack in the Box or whatever it's called. Yeah, but they do all those things. So the girls the next day, Vicky is livid, and she is just not having this Miss Slater sass. And so the girls are all trying to stand around and come up with a plan, right?
I love how they're lounging by that gross pool. That pool is disgusting.
It looks pretty creepy. Yeah, it looks pretty dirty. And they say actually, the first time we see the pool is when Catherine's mom is helping her move out. And she was like, oh, that pool. And she's like, oh, the old lady never keeps up with it, whatever. So, yeah, they're lounging by the dirty pool, and they're trying to figure out, are we going to TP her? What are we going to do to get back at her?
Oh, they have great stuff. No, I wrote it all down. They want to TP her room. Mm-hmm. They want to just take a bag of dog shit and light it on fire.
Oh, which they did before. I think they mentioned how they did that trick before.
They want to put a bucket of water on her door so it falls on her, or glue her ass to the toilet seats.
Oh, yeah. That was the one I thought they were going to go for, because that was the final one.
I was like, that's pretty good. That one was elderly. That's an insane prank. Do it. Mm-hmm. And all the other girls really want to get back at Mrs. Slater.
Well,
nobody really likes her at all.
Yeah, but Vicky is also your bad bitchy girl, typical bad bitchy girl, and she revs everybody up.
Yes.
And she's their leader, and some of them just, I guess, don't have minds of their own, and some of them just, she's that persuasive leader that can just make you, because throughout the whole movie, she's controlling all of what's going on.
You know what? I had said that my favorite was the blonde girl who couldn't act. I think my favorite is the mousy girl that gets killed in the bathroom. She might be my favorite.
Oh, when her head floats in the bathroom? Oh my God. And she had some warning signs. She could have not have been killed. But for some reason, our hero leaves her alone.
Yes.
Yeah, but when she comes in distress, she goes to the kitchen with
she can barely talk.
Kate, and Kate's like, okay, just wait right here. I'll be right back. What?
Yeah, you were attacked with a cane. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if this is when they discovered Bobby. Oh, yeah, she's a mess. But anyway, they do finally convince Katie to go along with whatever.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely resistant.
Prank is.
Yeah, because she's like, aren't we old enough to just get over this? Mm-hmm. What do we got to do these things for? But the prank is on, right?
Right.
It just needs to happen.
Yes. They are hanging streamers, disco ball. They're taking paintings down off the walls. I think one painting is of Mrs. Slater. I'm not sure.
I thought that's what that was. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Mrs. Slater wakes up and just walks out, just assumes... a new day. I guess these sorority girls are gone. I can start my relaxing, insane summer. And no, they have decorated for a party where they have explicitly told her at one point how all these other frats and sororities are invited to this.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Well, I think they even mentioned to her that they had to have it. They must have had another venue planned. But they couldn't afford that venue, which, how could they afford it? They have the band, they have all the party stuff. I'm sure they had, it looked like a fancy enough party. Did they have waiters walking around with hors d'oeuvres? I didn't see, but, that's fancy, you know?
No. That's well beyond the means of college students. I know that their get-ups might make you think it's super fancy.
But nay.
No.
But nay. But she's also, when she wakes up from her slumber, even though, she was sleeping tight, she realizes her cane is missing.
Oh, her cane is missing. Oh, curses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so she goes and she sees that the party's being decorated for her, and she's, take this down. Party is not happening. And then she says, where is it?
Oh, and then Vicky's like, where could it be? And I don't know if they just look out at the pool or if they say it's in the pool or something, but...
Well, it's on a float in the pool, right?
It's on a big, inner tube, a tire inner tube.
Yeah.
In the middle of the pool, just floating around out there. Mm-hmm. Vicky tells her, just go get it in the pool. And Mrs. Slater is not having it because she's you go get that thing. I hate you so much, Vicky.
Yeah, you're a bitch. You don't know life. You're just, no, you get it.
Yep. But.
Well, this prank shocked me. I was just as shocked as the girl she was with.
So was I, because Vicky pulls a gun on the house mother and is like, you get down that, you climb down that ladder and you go get that cane. You go in that gross pool, or I guess I'm going to shoot you.
And the other girls, now, what is there? 7 of them, right?
Right.
I would say 5 of them, 6 of them, 5 of them are just as freaked out.
No, not yet. Not yet, because they get freaked out when she turns.
The other girl gets shot.
No, when she turns and she shoots the light.
Oh,
she turns around and she shoots a light.
She tells them all it's not loaded.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she shoots this light and the house mother's like, holy shit. The other girls are like, whoa, you told us this gun was not loaded. You just shot something.
Now they're like,
they're all
this is really
flipping
a joke.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They freak out.
But here's the question. Because they're not freaked out, right? Because when it's all revealed, they all just start laughing.
No, see, this is what
they're in on this because she fake shoots her sorority sister. Like, that's all part of the joke.
But I think the fake shoot, I assume that the gun pull was everybody knew, right? Mm-hmm. And then the bullets, not everybody knew. But the bullets was another, like, side thing that Vicky and that one girl decided, we're even going to spook everybody else.
You're right. Okay.
And do that.
All right.
And the other girls, again, because Vicky's got this power over them.
Okay.
She's just, once they realize it's all a joke, they're like, it's
I
all
thought they
so
were
funny.
all in on anyway. Let's.
I don't think.
If you hadn't watched this movie, we need to walk you through it. So she shoots this light, turns the gun on the sorority mother. The other girls are flipping out.
Yeah.
One girl's like, whoa, don't do this. Goes for the gun. Vicky, quote unquote, shoots her in the leg. Blood everywhere.
Sure.
All the girls now are freaking out.
Yeah.
And then she shoots the sorority mother, but with blanks. And then, everybody laughs. Everybody's having a great time. It's hilarious until the sorority mother fights back.
Yeah.
And hits Vicky with a cane, causing Vicky to shoot her now with a real bullet.
Yeah, there's who knows.
I don't know what's going on. It's like real bullet, maybe 3 blanks, then more real bullets for some reason. But then we see the gun later and there's more blanks in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how all of this was set up by Vicky, but long story short, it was a prank gone wrong in which the sorority mother is shot and then is just floating around in this pool.
Yeah, is now literally just floating.
Yes.
And now the girls are really freaking out because they didn't want to kill anybody. The band is here. The band just showed up. And now they have to deal with this dead body. And of course...
And Vicky is really, really great at... she's bad, but she has a real take charge personality. And anytime something's wrong, because she looks at Short Perm and she's like, Short Perm, go. You go stall the band.
No, she's always got a plan.
You go stall the band. What's her name? Get something to wrap her up with. You go get something to weigh her down with. I don't know if it's rocks or whatever. We're going to tie her up. Catherine's like, I think we should call the police. And she's like, you shut your mouth. We have a party to go to.
Yeah. Well, no. And then, too, it's like, it's going to ruin all our lives.
Exactly.
If you say that what happened here and,
Catherine,
again, she's very persuasive.
Yeah, I don't think the other girls are happy that the house mother is dead.
No, I don't think that was their plan.
Right, but they're all kind of like, listen, I'm not going to jail. Yeah. I'm not going to jail for this woman. Like, let's just... We'll get past this. She doesn't have family. Yeah. They even say she doesn't have family.
Yeah, they mentioned she doesn't have any family.
Who's going to miss her? Whatever. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. Yeah, they say she doesn't have family, but she does.
What? She has family? Is that Doctor her brother? So Yeah, so they basically wrap her up and they decide to dump her in the gross pool. Because who's going to go in the gross pool? It's super disgusting.
Right, exactly. Who's going to check there? They're like, where can we put her? We'll put her in here at least for now, right?
She sinks. They have a whole conversation about, does she sink or does she float? And they're like, oh, yeah. I don't know. So
they asked the one girl, she's like, how am I supposed to know? I think they asked the girl that's going to be the lawyer. And why would she know? She wouldn't know.
She's got to get ready because she she doesn't make it through the night. Never mind.
No, none of it. Well, yeah.
I was going to say this experience could help our law career, but it never comes to be.
No, it doesn't come to fruition. But like we said, though, the band is here and the party must go on. The party does. And the band, and I guess this was an 80s thing too. Like you said, they were very Talking Heads-ish, I guess, right? The band. Mm-hmm. But everyone at the party does this like weird like hair bob dance, like all the dudes at the party.
Yeah, unfortunately, everybody at the party is dancing, but they're all kind of out of sync. It's like they're all dancing to different music.
Yeah. The band's going to town.
There's a weird, real quick scene. Please tell me you saw this, because I don't know if it was, I assume it was meant to be a joke, where you see this guy, kind of chubby, has moles on his face, like big moles, and you just hear a voiceover of one of the girls go, yeah, he's pretty cute.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
That guy.
Yeah, when the party starts, they do a weird, like, voiceover almost for, like, who's there. Not who's there, but
for all the
that's
girls.
when they do that, right?
Yes, it's kind of like the girls are getting into the party. Some of them are having drinks, but they're all kind of just standing around uncomfortable because they just murdered a woman.
Yeah, they all have a sad look on their faces.
Right, while everybody else is just rocking out, and it's a great time.
Yeah, band is playing. Let's do this, right?
This is when Gallagher is stabbed through the throat with a cane outside.
Oh, yeah, the weird... What now? He is out there. We don't know why, right? He's just wandering, looking for another dude, talking about flying squirrels.
And I kind of feel bad for her because I'm like, he's the only innocent person murdered in this movie.
Yeah, there's no good reason for his death, except he's just hanging around outside.
Right. Nobody else, right? Like, Vicky's boyfriend never gets killed, right? Like the guy who brought the gun. We never even hear from him after a while.
No, you're right.
He, in the middle of a college party, goes, hey, you got my gun?
Yeah, what'd you do with my gun? She's like, it's upstairs. I can't talk about it. I'm nervous. Yeah, but before the weird guy gets killed, random guy gets killed, we do see something with a cane coming out of the water.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So... we are meant to believe, or at least some of us were for a good portion of this movie.
I think we're all
meant to believe.
I think we're all meant to believe. Some of us just did believe.
Well,
and I'm not saying it was just you. This movie does a really good job of setting up like a red herring. I mean, a movie like this, like it reminded me of what's that Jennifer Love Hewitt movie where they hit the guy with the car and he's killed, and then he comes back and he knows what they did last summer. Anyway,
there you go. Okay,
that movie, like it was like, oh, we hit this guy with the car. I guess he is back murdering us. And that's kind of what this movie posits, which is they didn't actually kill her. They think they did. But she got out of the pool and is now murdering people with her cane.
And I thought she had some kind of condition that maybe pool water enhanced or...
enhanced her superpower of being old and great
I
with a
thought
cane.
she had some kind of like spiritual like awakening or some kind of mystical like infusion of some kind. I was like, now she's back and she's this powerful kind of ghost being.
I have one quick question, and we don't need to give away the killer's identity yet. We will do that later, but
sure.
How did the killer get to the house? We never see a scene of her bringing the killer home.
Oh, I think the killer's always been there.
Wait, what?
Sure.
Wait. Oh, Jamie, you're positing something. You mean the killer's been up in that attic in that creepy room the whole time those girls were there?
That's where it lives.
So that's
why it's been watching from the window.
You're telling me that on June 19th she like unlocks the attic door
And he's meant to roam free.
He's able to roam for the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, like as a birthday gift.
Jamie, I thought he was in that hospital and she signs him out for the summer.
No, I think that's where she kept him. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jamie, this is so much better now. Okay.
She dressed him like a creepy clown.
Great. Now I see no flaws with this movie at all.
Mm-hmm. You like it even more, right?
It's flawless. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's get into it. Now, since we're talking about this party, and I think I could talk about this party all night, because I like how at one point the party's just not there anymore. Like, I guess everybody
all of
home.
A sudden everyone just, somebody does make a comment like, meet you at the bar, but everyone's just, it's like, the party was supposed to end at 11, and that's when it ended.
I really did, and I don't know when this changed. I don't know if it's something that changed in the late 80s, maybe like a Brat Pack thing brought this in, but it was really refreshing during this party to see all of these extras. They looked like normal people. Like, they weren't attractive. Yeah. Like, they just...
Well, same thing with most of the leads. It wasn't like they were all, like, exceptionally... Yeah.
It's crazy. If you watch, like, a movie that has a college party in it now, they are all models. Like, everybody is super attractive.
Even the people at the parties, it just looks... No, and this was I agree, it was a very kind of normal-looking party. It was very, and the music, like I said, that band was getting people bopping.
The unattractive people and the music really made it a great movie.
It did. That's thumbs up from us. What about... Okay. So it's a party. There's average-looking people at the party, right? Don't forget that when this party was originally planned and Kate was begged to stay, one of the caveats for her staying was because there was a blind date coming for her, right?
Sweater vest himself shows up. That guy. Oh.
With a corsage. Who comes to a college party
I am telling
with a corsage?
This thing looks more like a prom than a college party. They're dressed, all of them are dressed for the prom, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's a big party. This is their graduation, I guess. I don't know.
You've used that excuse before, and it didn't work that time.
It didn't work. You didn't feel it the last time. You're not going to feel it this time, are you? Well.
Also, during this party, all the girls are kind of, okay, we just murdered somebody, but
they're pretty mopey and stressed.
Let's just blend in. It'll be great. But then they hear a scream from outside.
Oh, yeah.
And some assholes are going to throw the mousy girl into the pool.
Yeah, they're kind of swinging her around.
They're swinging her. One girl, what does she say to distract them? She says something.
Oh, the wet
t-shirt contest. Yeah. That's it. Hey, guys, it's a wet t-shirt contest. And then he turns around and he's like, yeah, right. And pushes her into the pool.
Pushes her in, right. So somebody does get thrown in the pool. And that's when they have a scare. Is that when they do the...
Well, that's...
Oh, yeah, they freak out about somebody turning on the pool lights.
Right, yes. Like, what if somebody turns on the pool lights? Like, you're going to see a corpse in here if the lights are on, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is when they send Short Perm down into the basement. Jamie, I had a really hard time differentiating these girls. Like, other than our main character and Vicky, and probably... Boozy Blonde.
Oh yeah, she kind
of stands out. The rest of them just
blended together.
Like there's two blondes and the rest are brunettes. They don't have a single African American girl.
No,
and I can only assume that the remake must have had an African American girl or an Asian friend, sorority girl, or something like that because. Yeah. Some like their hairstyles all look the same. They were
they think they said I read something somewhere that one of the girls was killed sooner in the movie because she looked too much like Vicky.
Oh,
like they had a similar hairstyle, so they decided to kill her sooner.
That makes sense.
Than later because it was just two girls that kind of looked the same.
Well, it wasn't...
That looked too much the same.
I mean, it wasn't Short Perm because she gets it right away. And I kind of enjoyed her. Like, she was one of the more sassy girls.
She had some sass, some smart to her. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm surprised that the bad actress wasn't killed first. I was
Well, she had to have her epic go away on the balcony, right?
Where she was insanely entertained by a Jack in the Box. She loved that thing.
She had some whiskey or something.
I like to think she got killed really enjoying the moment.
Just being into the Jack in the Box and that silly clown. She's like, that's hilarious.
Jamie, she couldn't even die properly. Did you see when she got stabbed? She crossed her eyes. She crossed her eyes.
She did.
And like stuck out her tongue, not knowing what else to do.
I saw it. I saw it. She was the worst.
But anyway.
Her line delivery, I don't think I wrote down any of her lines, but her line delivery was so terrible.
How do we know she is alive? Is the line. I wrote it down, and it is so off-putting. It's like the only line where you went, wait, these people aren't actors. Like, it's the only line in this movie where I looked around. I think I looked at my dog, and I was like, are you seeing this? Like, this is crazy. All right. But anyway, Short Perm goes down in the basement to shut off like the breakers so that they can't turn the lights on in the pool.
Right.
And she is killed. But before she's killed, a ball, like a little jingly ball that we saw in the attic baby toy earlier, rolls out. And she picks it up and then is killed. Like we see her shadow get stabbed with the cane.
Yeah, we don't see too much of the... It's like... We don't see her gore out at all.
Gore.
There's not a lot of gore in the movie. I mean, there's killings and stuff, but it's not. There was no like. Yeah. I can't watch.
Yeah, there's killings. There's a lot of blood. I was surprised with the amount of blood when the girl in the bathroom is killed. Like blood sprays all over the wall.
Well, and I was surprised that later we see her head in the toilet.
Yep.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in the shadow, stabbed in the face, and our band is back.
Oh my
God! Isn't this when the band dedicates? This is when
they get to dedicate songs. It's like a wedding now. Suddenly.
Yeah, no, and they have all the girls come up and stand up there, right? And then I wasn't sure, so the girls are meant to stand up there and just dance with random guys because they kind of dance with their boyfriends and their dates, but it also looked like they'd get passed around. I don't know.
It was just like a wedding because it was like, here we got some special dances for the graduating seniors. And then feel free to join in as you want.
Right.
And I
will say as far as this party, I mean, the band is the big thing because it's so pretty much besides what's going on externally, the killings and everything, the cane killings. It's a pretty mellow party.
It's a very mellow party, yes.
Like any kind of crazy drinking or shenanigans are happening.
The craziest thing that happens is while they're dancing, three dudes strip down to their tighty-whities and decide to go swimming.
Because that pool looks just like something you want to jump into.
Oh my God. Two of the guys, the chubby sea pig and another guy is like, I don't know, this looks pretty gross. And one guy goes, I don't know, looks good to me. What are you looking at? Because that pool is super disgusting.
So gross.
And also, I think we have to say that before they jump in the pool, the very overweight of the three says, I'm a sea pig. And I don't know why. I don't know why he says that.
Well, it's the line he keeps repeating,
He says it twice, which made me think that when they're standing about to jump in, he said it, and the director was like, Tim, that's not your line yet. Like, that comes in the next scene. But then cutting it together, they were like, that's great. We're just going to
use it. Yeah, let's just use it. No, because he does. So he says it when he jumps in, like, I'm a sea pig. And then he is just this chubby guy in a gross pool.
And he's the only one. I assume the other two guys didn't jump in then.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Because when the girls come out, like, what? Someone's in the pool?
Well, the girls see the pool lights. The girls see the pool lights turn on.
Oh, right.
From out the window. And then they flip out and they run down. And I don't know. Right. He's kind of like holding on to something like a flotation device.
Like a floaty or something, right? Yeah.
And he just looks at them and goes, I'm a sea pig.
Uh-huh.
What does this mean?
I'm not sure. It's like, I don't know. And it's, I don't know.
But the girls see with the pool lights on that there is no longer a body in the pool.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And this is when they go into the kitchen to kind of like, okay, listen, let's get away from this party.
Brainstorm.
Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about what we can do. Yes. And Katie seems to be the only one concerned Because they come to the conclusion that
she didn't really make it, right? That even if she walked...
That, like, she must have gotten shot, got out of the pool, and then died somewhere else outside?
Right, so they want to find, essentially, her dead body.
Right.
But Katie's like, but she could be injured, and how do we know how far,
Exactly.
What do you think? And in the meantime...
That's why she's our hero, Jamie.
Oh, of course. Now, our villain, our Vicky villain, she is, again, the quick thinker, and is like, well, when we find the body, we have to pretend like something happened. So she tells the blonde, terrible actress one to go and pack her bag, right? Go and pack her bag, make it look like she's,
Yes.
And she does, and she's got a terribly plunging neckline, right? That blonde that outfit she has on.
Yes.
That's like,
her dress does not look like a prom dress. She is right.
No,
yeah.
Looks like a hooker's dress.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she does. This is when she sings the sorority song, and she packs the clothes from in the closet, and this body falls from like the door in the attic door, I guess is what it would be, right?
Yeah. From in the house mom's closet is the door to go to the attic. Yes.
Right. And it kind of falls down. She looks up and screams, and this, what we think is Mrs. Slater's body wrapped, falls on her, right? Mm-hmm. But we find out later that it's not. It's curly hair. What'd you call her? Crazy curly hair?
Tiny perm. Short perm.
Short perm.
Right.
Short perm. Tiny perm.
Tiny perm.
Short perm. Short perm's body is what falls on her.
Yes.
But whatever, there's a body that falls in the closet. She's in shock, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just can't even focus.
I think I don't know if she faints, passes out, or is knocked unconscious, but the girls kind of bring her to. Because then I was like, oh, I guess Boozy Blonde was killed in the closet, but no, she kind of wakes up, and they're like, say something, and she goes, does anyone have anything to drink? And they're like, she's okay.
Yeah. They're like, she just wants her liquor. Mm-hmm. And then she runs off, right? And
she runs off.
That's when Vicky's like, just leave her. She's a big baby. Let her
I love
do
how
her
she
thing.
calls her a big
and that's
baby.
Like she's just emotional. And that's when Kelly slaps her.
Katie.
Yeah. Slaps her.
Slaps Vicky right in the face. And then she leaves, and Vicky's like, ugh. Those two idiots, and where the hell's Short Perm? I don't know. I guess it's just up to us four ladies to dispose of a body.
Exactly. We're going to have to figure this out, GGD, right? Oh, Morgan. I wrote down her name.
Morgan
the dumb
is
girl
Boozy Blonde?
Morgan.
Okay.
Boozy Blonde is Morgan. So when she runs off, it's because she needs a drink real bad. So she goes to her room. She gets in her underwear. And she just starts drinking, I don't know, like wild turkey, whiskey. She starts drinking some kind of alcohol straight up.
She's drinking some rough stuff right out of the bottle. And you're right, she puts on like a see-through nightgown.
Yeah.
That's what she changes into.
Now, mind you, there's a party going on downstairs, but she doesn't care.
Everybody's still partying. Yeah. Nobody at this house is involved at this point.
The band is still there, right. But they are not, they could care less. So that's when she sees the Jack in the Box with the creepy clown that's left on her balcony. Mm-hmm. She goes, she checks it out, she laughs like a fool. And you're right, she dies like a fool with crossed eyes and her tongue sticking out. Right?
I don't know how it got to this point. I don't know how the director just like
allowed her to do. I'm pretty sure that the director was having her way with Morgan.
Oh, you think that's what was going on?
Well, why else would that girl be in the movie?
Anyway, okay. So she is murdered, stabbed, and again she's stabbed, but not with the hook. Like she's stabbed.
You're right.
The bottom of this cane must be razor sharp.
Very sharp. I wouldn't see why not. Right?
All right. So 2 girls down, 5 to go.
Yep.
So the other 4 girls are going to put this corpse, again, we don't know who's in there. Like you said, it is Short Perm, but we think that it's the house mother because the body's still wrapped up.
Right. And they're freaked out. They don't want to open it. Who would?
They decide that they are going to put this body in a van. One girl has a van with a telephone in the front. Not a CB radio, because at one point I was like, does she have a CB radio? And the other girl picks up a rotary phone is attached to the roof of this van.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're going to put this body in the van and dispose of it later on. We find out in a cemetery, which is a pretty funny idea. So they send the one girl to go get the van, and they decide that they can't carry a corpse around in the yard, so they put her in a dumpster.
Yeah, well, she was heavy and awkward for them to carry. And as they're walking out with her, and they're like, how are we going to really... They're like, well, let's put her in there. And they do.
Now it's insane that they even do that.
Well, it's weird. It's random, right. But I think that what's allows the moment for. So okay,
a great moment. But go ahead.
When they put her into the dumpster, they start to push the dumpster, and a campus patrol car pulls up.
What the hell? How does this even happen, Jamie?
How does any of it happen? Because they crash into the patrol car, but then when they want to push her, and they're right, like the dumpster smashes right into the front of the patrol car, right? Because they don't see him coming, I guess.
I don't know. And they seemingly push a dumpster into the street and into a parked police car, I guess.
Yeah, but they're not looking. But then when they have to push it away, the car is like a couple of feet away from the dumpster. It's weird. It's weird.
And the guy is about to he's actually about to look in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Because he says something like, what are you doing? They're like, we're taking the trash out. And he's like, at 1:45 a.m. And they're like,
on a Friday,
we always take it on a Friday night. And they just look at each other. And he's about to look in the dumpster.
Sure, yeah.
But when he gets a call on his radio in the police car, and then he's like, don't let me catch you. He even calls it in. He's like, I have 2 female suspects here.
Yeah, he does start to call it in. But then he gets some other call that's, I guess, trumps it. And, he, by the grace of God, he leaves the scene. He leaves them. And they are like, whew. And he's like, all right, just get that dumpster out of here. And they push it away. And they're like, close one, basically. Now, in the meantime, we have Kate, our hero, who has gone looking for Morgan,
sure,
our blonde girl, and she finds herself upstairs in the attic, right?
Yes.
And she finds all the creepy toys and the clowns, and she sees a name on some of the toys. And again, her weird blind date guy is like stalking her.
That dude is up there with her in this creepy attic. And when he gets on that little tricycle or whatever and starts thinking like, I loved this when I was a kid. And finally she's like, why don't you just go downstairs?
Yeah, why don't you go back to the party? They find the dead bird though, right?
There's a dead bird, definitely.
Casualty number.
But you're right. She finds all these weird toys. Not weird toys, but they're just toys. But she also finds a adult-sized clown costume hanging on the wall, which is weird, scary because it's the same clown as in the
little Jack in the Box.
I almost called it a jukebox. Yes, a Jack in the Box.
Or a jukebox, sure. Yeah. Now, how does the one girl get
CB radio?
No. So the one girl goes to the van, and she's
killed. Everybody's kind of stabbed. Like everyone is stabbed.
But how did the one girl get left alone? The one that then gets her head flushed down the toilet. She was left to
flush down the toilet.
Oh, and she gets blood on her shirt right away, like that nerdy blonde girl.
Yes.
She gets blood on her shirt when they're carrying the body, and they ask her. Vicky puts her on a mission. She's told to do something.
I think it's just basically like, where the hell is the other girl with the van? Go see what's going on.
Oh, yeah. And in the way of... Oh, that's right. Because then that's where she's looking in the van, and then she gets hit in the head with the cane.
Right.
And
she's
running back to the house.
By the murderer, seemingly Mrs. Slater. But she's able to get away. She's able to fight off the killer and get away, which makes her death even more sad. And she gets into the house where, like you said, Katie's like, you stay here. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let me run away somewhere or whatever.
I don't know what she even has to go do. She's like, oh my God, who did this to you? Are you okay? And all that poor girl could muster is the word Kane.
Yeah, that girl had a hard time speaking.
Yeah. And instead of trying to comfort her or stay with her, Katie leaves her and just goes off.
Yeah.
And now the girl is freaking out because she gets a knife.
Can we talk about this bathroom? Because this bathroom is not in that house, right? Like, they went into a mall bathroom to film this.
Yes, it's definitely not. Yeah.
She's running through. She gets a big, huge knife and then runs upstairs because she hears somebody, like, come in the back door. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So she runs.
The party's done by now?
I don't even know. I guess. Yeah. But she runs through the hallway where we saw the girl at the beginning slip and fall, where all of their rooms are. Every room is locked. She can't get in a bedroom. But she can get in the bathroom, which then she is transported to a public restroom because the walls are like cinder block and there's like 8 sinks and 36 stalls in this bathroom.
Yep.
But
it's an insane and showers, right? Like head to head showers, like jail, like gym showers almost.
Right,
it looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have another question too because she locks herself inside a stall, and later when the killer turns on all the water, like all the hot water, so it's very steamy, very loud, and then it shows the locked
from the outside
door.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. That's not real. That can't really happen. That can't really. That was a oops.
It's not like when you saw the door get kicked open. It was literally the stall door's locked and somehow it's open from the outside.
Well, there's a bunch of those little weird, and then too, like those continuity, like the doctor in the beginning of the movie when Mrs. Slater is giving birth, the doctor's like an older man, right, and Mrs. Slater's younger, and later, when we see the doctor and Miss Slater interacting, she's old. She's gray-haired. She's old. And he's, like, not that much...
It's pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
He's like, it did look very weird. And, of course, I noticed that early on in the movie. But now that you bring it up, it makes sense because Mrs. Slater at the beginning of the movie looked relatively young, but she still looked like Mrs. Slater. So I was like, was this a woman that they just olded up for this role?
Olded up?
I'm not sure.
Her up.
But I do have a great thing that I saw an interview with one of the girls, and they were talking about Mrs. Slater.
Oh.
She was apparently local talent.
Oh, yes. You don't say.
She was a local theater actor.
Oh, I could see.
And she said that there was no premiere for the movie, so she said that she and a couple of the girls just went to the theater to see this. And she said they were shocked because Mrs. Slater's voice was dubbed.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and she thought, and she even said, she was like, in my mind, then I just pictured this poor woman taking people to this movie, and then how crushed she would have been to hear that they got somebody else to come in and do her voice. Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mousy Blonde is murdered in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And her head is found
later,
in a toilet later. Yes. Mm-hmm. So the other 2 girls who were pushing the dumpster into police cars finally get the body to the van.
Yeah.
They're able to throw the body in the back of the van, and then they just drive away.
Where did the dead bodies in the van go? We don't know. Because there was a dead body in the van, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, the one girl was killed in the van. I mean, this killer moves these bodies around like crazy.
I guess.
Well, we do know where the body goes because we see it later in the pool.
Oh, yeah, in the pool. That's right. Yeah.
So the killer's kind of collecting these bodies.
Yeah. He don't need no dumpster to drag him around.
Right. And this was a point in the movie. The other 2 girls leave in this van, and Katie's the only one now at home. And that boyfriend is still hanging around.
He's such a creepo.
And that kind of made me think, I never suspected him as being the killer, but then I was like, am I supposed to think he's the killer? Because this
is he in cahoots with the killer? I thought maybe he was in some kind of cahoots.
Because this is the point in the movie where she's like, would you just go home?
Yeah, she's like, the party's over.
Yes.
You need to leave. Now, I guess it's because they are a sorority. I guess that makes sense that there's a payphone that they make their calls from. Right? Because
sure.
were you a little weird? I made note of it, but I guess in reality it's not that weird. It's a sorority
right.
house.
Are you talking about after she finds the medic alert bracelet or
yes,
necklace?
Yes. And because she thought from earlier that maybe she was hurt somewhere, whatever. And she's been dying to call the cops since they killed Mrs.
Right.
Slater. So she's going to call the cops, but then that creepy blind date guy is like, oh, should I call your house mother? Should I let her know that because she says, yeah, because now a bunch of her friends are missing.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, there's, this.
All of her friends are gone. The only other two girls that are alive are away
Vicky.
in a van. Vicky and the other girl. Mm-hmm. The other girl has a perm. Not quite as short perm, but she has a perm too.
She does. It clicks for her, for Kate, that she didn't want to get in trouble with the cops. So she doesn't actually call them, right?
No, but she calls the doctor.
Right. That when she sees it.
Yes.
Right. So she decides to call the doctor whose name was on the medical alert bracelet thing, right?
Yes. And this doctor, the doctor that we've seen before, we saw the house mother visiting him. He's kind of like, okay, where is Mrs. Slater? And she's like, I don't know where she is.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I will be right over. Don't do anything. Like, literally, I don't think he says don't call the cops, but it's kind of like a don't move, don't go anywhere. I'll come over. I'll deal with this. I'm a doctor. Don't worry. Right. Mm-hmm.
This is a thing. Yeah. It's a condition.
Right. So the girls that have taken, quote unquote, Mrs. Slater's body, they take it to a cemetery to find it.
Where there's a plot already.
They find an open grave where I guess somebody will be buried the next day.
Well, not if Miss Slater gets a spot first.
Their plan is kind of smart, and that might seem sick.
They bury it a little deeper.
Dig down, bury her, cover her. Nobody will notice.
Yeah.
They'll put a coffin on top. Done.
There we go. Right.
It's not a bad way to dispose of a body if you can get away with it.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Where else do you take dead bodies? You can't leave them in the back gross pool,
No.
Now, did you think it's weird? So the doctor does sort of get there in a jiffy. Who's the dude? There's some dude passed out in a car. Is it the blind date guy?
Oh, I don't know.
That's lingering around? When the doctor arrives at the house, there's somebody just passed out in the car. And I guess it's because the blind date guy shows up yet another time, right? Because he gets shot. So I think it was him that he just can't leave the part. He just can't leave.
I have never wanted a character in a horror movie to die as much as I wanted
like, just somebody take this guy out of his misery.
Wearing boyfriend to get it.
Doctor arrives and kind of gives us a little background about
total backstory on us.
The bomb. Mm-hmm.
But also still doesn't give it away because like when he's explaining what's going on, his explanation is, listen, Mrs. Slater couldn't get pregnant. I developed this experimental drug that she took, and it's making her crazy. That's kind of what he says. Yeah. They're up in the attic at this point, and Catherine's even like, well, who's Eric? And the doctor's like, Eric, what do you mean?
Yeah, how do you know that
and
name?
She says, like, there's a birthday card. And again, are we to suspect it's Eric? No, because the doctor goes, oh, isn't that sad? She celebrates his birthday every year. And I'm like, great, Mrs. Slater's nuts. Let's move on with this movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah, I know. Losing a baby will make you go crazy. There we go, Mrs. Slater. I got your number, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they go out to the pool and they make a discovery.
Oh.
The discovery is 3 dead sorority sisters floating in a pool.
Yikes.
Yes. And it's kind of like the doctors, like, at this point, it should be like, okay, now it's time to call the cops. But do they drag the bodies out of the pool first?
Do they?
I don't know. Maybe they do go and call the cops. Maybe that's when that happens.
Well, but do they really call the cops? Right.
Call the cops, quote unquote.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the doctor claims he's called the cops because they found some dead bodies, 3 girls dead. She's freaked out now. Catherine is she's having like a little bit of a breakdown, right?
Well, I mean, it's justified.
She should.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
We cut back to the girls digging the grave. And then
they're filthy. They're so muddy digging in that trench.
And then perm number 2 goes out to the van, and she sits down in the front seat and gets her throat cut. Yeah. And then in just a couple minutes, Vicky goes over and she's like, "What's taking you so long?" And the girl falls out of the van, and then Vicky gets clobbered by this thing.
Cane to the eye, cane to the side. She is just taken down, right? So they're gone. Now the doctor tells the cops, meet me at the cemetery, because that's where the other 2 girls are. So that's where Kate and the doctor are off to. Right. And when they go there, Kate is very nervous. She's wringing her hands. Mm-hmm. She's not sure what she's going to find when she looks in the grave.
Well, I do love it because what we get is these girls are killed, and then it cuts back to Kate and the doctor going to the cemetery, and Kate is finishing the story of the prank. So I'm like, oh my God, she told him this whole story.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's like, and we thought she was dead. And so we got her body out and we wrapped her up. And I'm like, oh boy, this doctor is probably losing his mind. He's already called the cops. What's he going to tell the cops when you guys arrive?
Right.
It doesn't really matter. They find the girls' bodies, both girls, in this open grave. The doctor goes to the back of the van and finds Mrs. Slater's body.
Now, does he find that she has like a pulse? Doesn't he say something like she's alive?
Well, that's what he says then. I assume he says that to get Katie back in the van and then be like, let's go. We got to go back to the house now.
Yeah, we're going to try to help her.
I can take care of her there. Like, I don't know if he has his medical bag at the house or whatever.
Sure.
Anyway, he gets her to go back to the house.
When they get there, he sticks her. Right?
Well, this is when the movie took a turn that I was like...
It does get fun and trippy. Yeah.
Jamie, we do not normally, and I know we only did one bonus episode, we don't not give final judgments. I love this movie. I had so much fun watching this. And I was having fun with it. And then when he shot her up with something, this movie got 1,000 times better.
Yeah, this too is like one of the so he gives her a shot of something like it's just going to make you sleepy, and she starts freaking hallucinating, right? She starts seeing crap, which is freaking fantastic. So he brings her back into the house and kind of sets her up on a chair and basically is like, you're the only one of them left, and we're going to lure the killer here with you. Yes. And she's like kind of delirious, and she looks out onto the, like, what is it? Like the backyard area, the back porch area. Yeah. And she like hallucinates.
So great. It's so, because everything, like, she is sitting under like a magenta light almost. The doctor's standing and he's like got a purple light on him. There's a green light outside. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
And then
she sees Mrs. Slater.
Who are the 2 people dancing? Who are those people?
Oh yeah, first she sees 2 people. I don't know. I think they were just people from the party.
Okay.
I don't know, because none of them. It wasn't one of the sorority girls.
Because they showed them several times. And I was like, what significance is this?
I don't know if it was just supposed to show the party but yeah, there's people dancing, and then there's Mrs. Slater in a robe, and then there's all the girls that look like, they're all wet from being in the pool or whatever, like they're dead.
All the dead sorority sisters, just and the best thing is that it's cutting. Back and forth. So people are vanishing, coming back in. And when there's nobody there, it's her cane. And it's like spinning.
Oh,
it's just standing straight up spinning. And then Mrs. Slater will be holding it. And then it's one dead girl. And then it's all 6 of them. And so good. I loved it. I thought it was so great.
No, it was trippy. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. But then that damn guy comes back.
The guy in the sweater vest ruins the best part of the movie by walking into it.
Yeah, exactly. But he gets shot, right? He gets kind of tranquilized.
He gets shot with a tranq dart because later the doctor's like, "Hey, don't worry about your friend. I only shot him with a tranquilizer. He's gonna be fine."
Well, she gets her kind of gusto about her, and Kate, and she realizes that sleepy or not, drugged up or not, she stumbles her way upstairs to go and get the gun. She needs a little more protection because this doctor's obviously crazy. Like, she's got to look out for her, right?
The doctor finally tells us what's going on at this point. This is where he says that she had a son. He's Eric. He must have gotten loose. He's super crazy or like a mutant monster kid or something like that. And she's bait. So he finally, at this point in the movie, there's like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, the big reveal.
Yes, we know that Mrs. Slater is dead. She's not the killer. It's her deranged son, whatever drug he gave these women. He even says, like, she's the last surviving woman that he gave this drug to or something at one point.
Oh.
So he wants to cover, like, he doesn't want the cops involved. He doesn't want any, like, it's his fault. He did this. He's got to clean up his mess. So as she gets the gun, the doctor is killed with the cane and falls over the railing.
Yeah, and that too is a clear double. Did you notice that? Yeah.
That is not a 63-year-old man falling off that balcony.
No, I thought it was the blind date guy for a second. I was like, oh wait, who'd they really kill? But yeah, it doesn't take Eric long to get him now. And now we're just after our sweet Catherine, right?
Right.
Where's our hero? And she runs upstairs to the bathroom. I guess the bathroom's a good place to hide in a sorority house when the killer's out after you. She gets the gun. She goes upstairs. She manages to sneak the gun out of the room. And then she goes and runs into the bathroom, hides in the same stall as her sweet, sweet friend, and looks and sees her friend's head. And then she runs from there, too, right? Or no. He chases her up to the attic.
He chases her. No.
Why does she get up to the attic?
I think she is now on a mission to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, she is now... She's had enough. She sees her friend's head in the toilet. That's it.
Yeah.
So she is to kill Eric. So she goes up into the attic, his lair, looking for him.
Here, too, she has a little trip out, right? Doesn't she trip out here, too, when she's looking for him?
Yeah, I mean, everything. She's still under the power of whatever sedative he gave her.
Yeah.
She's kind of trippy. She's unsure of what's going on. Like, this whole time, she's still kind of out of it. And she's walking around in the darkness. We see this sort of clown outfit kind of hanging on the wall like it was last time. But as she stands with the gun, the clown outfit moves and starts walking toward her.
Freaky!
And then, I mean, she's smart enough to turn around. She's got a gun. She's shooting like a wild woman, but it's full of blanks.
Like blanks. It's the blanks, yeah.
And he's about to kill her, but
she finds a doll?
But she finds a doll with what
it's like a
must be. It's like it's a clown doll.
She takes the head off.
No, she holds the whole doll, but it must have like a really sharp, pointy hat.
Yeah.
So a ball falls down and starts to play like a lullaby, which distracts this Eric mutant monster clown man just long enough so she can stab him repeatedly with this toy until he falls down the attic stairs.
Yeah.
And then she passes out. Like, she then lays down and passes out immediately.
It's been a time for her, right? What a time. But then he, at the very end.
His eyes open.
Uh-oh. But then that's all we know.
And that's it, the end.
That's all we know, yeah.
Again, we don't do recommendations here with these bonus episodes. You don't need them. My recommendation is go see this movie because it's
I would say watch it. I would totally say watch it. I agree. I have to say, so I'm not the horror. Nope. Like, I don't like the gore and the horror. It's not my jam.
You say that every year, Jamie, and every year we find one or two that really just...
And here's what I'm going to say. Here's my final review for this movie. Now, it was no, because nothing can really be my sleepaway camp, right? I loved sleepaway camp. It was one of those but I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie and how I was gearing myself up to be offended. I was like, oh, and they're going to do the sorority kick and it's going to be all sexy and women and blah, blah, blah. And nay, I enjoyed this little romp.
I loved it. I thought all the performances were fun. Like, even the girl that can't act was super fun in this movie.
Yeah, it worked for what it was.
Yeah, and everybody was just like in 100% on what they were doing, and it was cheesy, yes, but there was something genuine about it. Like, there was something.
It was $50 a day. And let me tell you.
Listen, they're doing it for the passion.
Yes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So you loved it.
I really thought it was fun. I would watch this.
Highly recommend. All right.
Highly recommend. Like, it feels
excellent.
Did you ever see the movie Black Christmas? It's a 70s movie about a sorority house, and there's a killer, and he kills everybody one by one. And not that this was played for laughs, but that's a really good movie. But this movie is so much more fun than that movie, which, yeah. And again, when the lighting, when the colors, when it turned into like a Suspiria type thing, it was so great.
So fun. Yeah. I agree.
And I loved how they waited that long to even do that, because at that point I was like, I really love this movie. And then it happened. I was like, I want to buy this movie now. All right. But anyway, that is it.
That's House on Sorority Row.
That is it for our bonus horror episode. Thank you so much. If you are listening to this, you are supporting us.
And we so appreciate that. You're awesome.
We really do. And I need to somehow figure out a way to get more bonus content. I have some ideas. I'll see if those work out. Because I want I want you guys to get more for your money.
Yeah, I want them to get what they want.
But I know that because I see the numbers, I know that people tend to tune in for our horror movies, because there's like a big like, people love horror movies. There's like a big, huge community of people who love that stuff, and those are the episodes that people tend to listen to most. Sure. And if you are in that group, you got an extra one.
Yeah, look at you.
Look at you.
Kudos for you. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Then we will see you on the next actual episode, which should be soon, and will be a horror movie, because we're in October.
It's Halloween-y. Yeah, that's right.
A big Halloween-y to everybody out there. All right, see you guys.
Goodbye.
Go ahead, take a swim. You like getting people wet, right?
I should teach you a lesson or two.
Are you threatening me?
If that gun is real, you are all in serious trouble.
We thought you might need a little persuading. What's wrong with the swim? Come on. It's not much to ask for 4 years of putting up with your shit. Now go on.
Get out of my way.
Go on! Vicky, What the hell are you doing? I know exactly what I'm doing.
Vicky, it's not funny anymore.
Shut up, Liz. You all want this as much as me.
Someone's gonna get hurt. Give me that gun.
Please, wherever you are. She's all right.
Oh.
Hey, Slater. Move it! Vicky, I don't think you want to do this. On.
Vicky!
Please, stay where you are and shut up. Go on.
Vicky, give me the gun.
Way in.
Vicky, I don't think you want to do this.